Word up, California. You're listening to PATjE FM.
We are live from California.
You're listening to PATjE FM.
And our guest today is Whitton.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
We're doing great.
We're doing fantastic. You are a singer and a composer. I guess you have your own band, correct?
I do. For the last two to 3 years, I've been performing with a 10-piece band. And occasionally, before previous shows, I did just solo acoustic. And I've now gotten to a point where I'm performing with a trio or a 4-piece. But yeah, typically I perform with a very big ensemble.
And where are you from exactly?
I'm from the biggest little city in the world. Do you know where that is?
Like my mind's turning. Where is the biggest little city in the world?
Reno, Nevada.
Reno, Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And what does Vito? Am I saying it right? What does that mean?
Well, it's English, and it's actually my last name.
Mm-hmm.
So my first name's Jamie, but I've always gone by Whitton, and I mean, even in high school, people called me Whitton, and it just kind of stuck. And I had different music projects, and I've always had that name to go by.
Well, it's catchy, it's people would remember it, so it's a good name.
Well, I hope so, because I've been called Whitney, or so I think if you hear it once and you remember it, then it's easier. But I think it might resemble a different name more so.
So how did you get started?
Well, I started singing when I was 6. My parents had 6 kids because the movie Sound of Music. So all of us kids have our own musical endeavors. And some of them are in acting and directing, and we're all entertainers per se. And my mother played ukulele and sang, and my dad was an actor in Hollywood. So I was born with it. It was innate.
What other influences you would say has influence for your music?
For my music now? Geez, I've always loved jazz and soul music and singer-songwriter, acoustic. I mean, it all stems together, acoustic, blues, even down to bluegrass, country, Americana. When I met my producer, I was playing in Pasadena at a little dinky hole-in-the-wall open mic 3 years ago, and Ian Coyne is my producer's name for this new album I just released called Rare Bird. And there was 3 people in the audience, and afterwards he approached me and he says, "Let's write together." And I said, I got hired for a 1940s review show for a cruise line, and I was like, I'm leaving in a month. I don't have time, And so he kept pursuing me, and right before I left, I went in and wrote a song called Apple Tree that has Americana kind of a feel, and it got placed in a film called The Fifth Quarter with Andy McDowell and Aidan Quinn.
That's great.
And so I'm like, I can't leave now. I have to stay. And so then we wrote some more tunes together, and then he produced some of my own songs, and he never worked in big band music before either. And so we just dissected my vocals, and I think naturally, I have a Billie Holiday kind of, flair. And so we just built from there.
So it seems like we hear that you are always on tour. Could you give us a little more detail on this?
Well, for the last 8 years, I packed up my car and sold CDs out of my trunk and went couch surfing for a very long time, and played from cobblestones to music festivals to bars, open mics, anything that I could play. And I booked my own tours, and for about 5 years, I played 100+ shows a year. And I would book sections at a time where I would book 3 to 4 shows a day. I would play farmers markets in the morning, art galleries, coffee houses, music venues, anything that I could just put myself in, throw myself in. Yeah, and tried to develop a fan base, and as time has gone on, you always evolve and get better, and meet people who you hope to work with, and I really believe if you want something, then you can achieve it. But it takes time.
Okay, we'll just have a few more seconds to thank you, Whitton, for joining us.
And any message you want to address PATjE FM and your fans?
Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you for having me, and everybody tune in, because you guys are great, and I've watched a handful of your videos that you've had other artists on, and you guys are great. You're doing a great thing, and it's helping other artists, and LA is so saturated with music, and I think sometimes there's a lack of appreciation, and watching what you do there's lots of appreciation there.
Thank you, Whitton.
So remember to check her out, Whitton, on Facebook, YouTube, and on PATjE FM.
You're listening to PATjE FM. Stay with us. Tell people to download our app. See you soon.
Bye.
From London to Los Angeles, you're listening to PATjE FM.